Raj Chengappa. 24 hours ago, we were still where we are in terms of the numbers, but Biden is increasingly within striking distance now. Is the fact that we've had such a polarized election campaign, and as Kishore has put it, and some of our other guests, that America is going to now be more inward-looking. You've got to deal with COVID. You've got an economy which still needs to be lifted up in the months and years ahead. Do you see, therefore, a sort of diminished America in a way, problematic for the world and for India in particular?
Well, I think Biden brings some good news. Let's put it that way. If Trump was insular and disruptive and deglobalizing, Biden is going to be, in many senses, getting back into the game. He himself said that America will be back at the head of the table, of the global table.
But a divided, fractured America,
well,
Raj?
That's domestic. That's domestic.
Isn't that where his focus is going to have to be?
Of course it will be, because at home he has serious health issues in terms of the pandemic. The economy has contracted like never before, probably lost 20 million jobs and all these things, equal to the Great Depression. And you've got racial divide. He has plans for each of these, and whether that works, we need to see. Even the economy, he is somewhat like he's got a plan, right? Mm-hmm. Which he says he's going to spend $700 billion on infrastructure and actually encourage what he calls Buy America. Okay, it sounds very much like America first, but it's Buy America, meaning by getting...
Would he cut H-1B visas? Would he sort of become... the challenges of our times are what? Jobs, getting jobs back for an American president, getting jobs back, getting America, the economy back on track, getting the COVID pandemic under control.
Sure.
That will mean a lot of investment in America itself.
Yeah, so he's setting aside $700 billion for that. He says you'll have to buy from American companies. So we need to see how he's going to tighten the restrictions in terms of our exports to that. And he's also saying that when it comes to racial divide, he's got a plan in terms of the justice system. When it comes to immigration, he's going to be softer. Particularly in terms of looking down south and the wall and everything else. He's talked of dismantling that, and possibly with India, less sort of putting pressure on us on our various visas. So that's the good news. And if you take a look at the way he deals with things, I mean, I've talked to people who've dealt with him. He's decisive. He's process-driven. Unlike Trump, who's volatile, who's runs diplomacy on Twitter.
So you'll be back to a more institutionalized arrangement with America.
You will have people that you could deal with. He believes in the process. So what India would look at is, there are, of course, on defense and China particularly, we need to have President Biden's or the President-elect Biden's interest on that matter, because for us, it is critical. Biden will want to rejoin the Paris climate change. He needs China. America is highly dependent on the Chinese economy. Mm-hmm. So there is no question of him disengaging or going to, conflict with China. How much he makes up with China, how much pressure. He's talked, by the way, Rajdeep, of having a coalition of democracies to take on China. He says that the way to do it is not to be so confrontationist, but actually to build pressure through various alliances around that. And India is a very, very vital part of that. For us, really what we need to look at is, one, we are sure continuity is going to happen on defense. It needs to be strengthened. There will be more pressure for us to act on the ground. Two, trade. Trade is where we are going to be having... Is he going to restore the GSP as quickly? Unlikely to. He is going to negotiate with us on trade and put more pressure on us to open our markets. The third issue, which I think is very, very important, is how much is he going to come down on the values issue, which is the human rights issue. How much of that is he going to raise in terms of religious intolerance? I think on Kashmir, he's going to be less subdued. And finally, finally, a point on Pakistan, which is always our sort of thing. I don't think they're going back to the old policy of engaging Pakistan. At the moment, Pakistan, after what is going to happen in Afghanistan, the stakes are minimal for America.